Welcome to Wired on the Word, the Bible Society of South Africa's official podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Wired on the Word. This is the Bible Society of South Africa's official podcast. My name is Ashleigh and I'm here today with my co-host Leon. And we are also joined by two very special guests. We've got Mel Hill and Nerys Siddall with us from the British and Foreign Bible Society, particularly the Mary Jones Centre. So we're very excited to have you ladies. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So yes, let's jump right in. The Mary Jones Centre. I don't know if many of our listeners will know the story about Mary Jones, but we are keen for more and more people to know about her story and how it actually has a significant history to the Bible Society of South Africa and every other Bible society that exists around the world. So maybe you can each tell us a little bit about what you do at the Mary Jones Centre, and then we can jump into a bit more about the story of Mary Jones.
So the centre opened in 2014, and the purpose of the centre is to retell Mary's story along with the story of Thomas Charles and the history of the Bible in Wales, and about the work of Bible Society, of course. My role is the centre manager and an education officer for the centre. So I manage bookings, welcome visitors, and also prepare resources for children as well, for schools to come here. So they have a workbook so they can do different variety of tasks and activities to learn more about her story in a fun and interactive way, hopefully, and take it back to school with them.
And my name's Mel, as you mentioned, and I'm the marketing officer for Wales in Bible Society. So I help really bring visitors to the site, help run events, and just be on site to welcome visitors as well.
Awesome. So we read that the Mary Jones Centre is quite a busy place and also an award-winning visitor centre. So can you tell us a little bit more about the work you do on a daily basis and what your experience is with the visitors that step into the story, the experience of Mary Jones?
So in the we have peak seasons, which runs from March until September, and that's when we're open to the public, to everyone. We have a cafe on the site as well, so we have people come to the cafe for drinks and some lunch, and then when they come into the centre, they ask us lots of questions about the story. And what's interesting is some come here having known the story all their lives, being brought up with a story, and some haven't got a clue who Mary Jones is. They've just stumbled across us and they get to learn something totally new, which is really fascinating to see. So within the centre we have a video that was made specially for us by the team at the British and Foreign Bible Society, that retells the story in about 5 minutes, just to give them an overlook of what the journey means. And then we have interactive screens then all around the centre. And the centre is a redeveloped church. So it's a Grade 2 listed building. So as we once, it's not possible to have anything on the walls, we have interactive screens, which is great as we can update them. We can update them from our head office with all the latest information from Bible Society. So they work around the screens, learning more information, and we also have a special designated corner for children as well, where things are more engaging and interactive there.
Yes, in the centre itself, we also have apart from the interactive screens, we have an area where dedicated to artefacts. So we have a facsimile of Mary's Bible, we have Thomas Charles's ink pot, just so that people can kind of look and see those items that were really important in part of the story as well.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I think this story is so significant to us as Bible Society employees, but we don't often encounter many people who outside of the Bible Society who know this story. I mean, that in here in South Africa. Would you say this is quite a commonly known story in Wales? And is it something that, kids get told while they're growing up? Or is it something that really only comes out when, talking about the Bible Society?
I think what's encouraging for us here is that we do get teachers coming in, not just from Wales, but from England and Scotland and other parts of the UK as well, saying that they've been teaching Mary Jones' story in their class. And what's amazing is that the story has gone worldwide. We get people, from India and from
The Netherlands.
Lots of Netherlands this year. Coming in and bringing their own copy of the book in their own language as well, which is really lovely. But I think it's a story that children can connect with easily. As a young girl saving up her money for something that she really wants, I think it's something inspiring as well for young children.
Yes, because when we have children in, we quite often ask them the question, well, what would you walk 26 miles for and why?
We get a variety
we do get a variety of answers. But it's really interesting to kind of take that concept and try and have them think it through. So it's wonderful to see what children come out with.
Yeah, I'm sure that you get the most interesting answers from the kids. So another thing I'd love to know is, what do you hope to educate your visitors about, or what kind of message do you hope that they leave with after they've been to visit the Mary Jones Centre?
I think Mary Jones' story is just the story itself is a story of her motivation and her perseverance to want her own Bible. It's inspiring in itself, but that can lead on then to a conversation about the Bible itself and learning more about the Bible. We have some people in that haven't even been in a church, and we also provide that aspect as well. They get to see different features of a church, for instance, and that opens up a conversation of how the Bible, is still relevant today. And obviously something Mary Jones was integral to her life, and it's still the same for people today as well.
And I think also as well that, she undertook a massive undertaking, a big walk, but also she was one young female, and the impact and legacy that had in creating the British and Foreign Bible Society, and then all the Bible societies across the world, that just something so small individually could have such a collectively big impact to help people discover the Bible. And also how fantastic it was for the Welsh language as well, having what she did and having this Bible in Welsh, and it's an incredible thing.
Absolutely. If we look at where we are today in terms of the Bible Society, operating in more than 240 countries and territories worldwide, it doesn't matter how small one person's dreams or ambitions are, it can have a profound impact. We discuss it quite often here in the office that if it wasn't for Mary Jones, we wouldn't be sitting here today. And we always tend to go back to that story, always tend to refer to her walk, and, try to really understand how fortunate we are as well to be able to hold a Bible in our hands, to be able to distribute the Bible to the people of South Africa. And I think also Bible translation is such an important, part of the Bible Society's work. Here we have more than 11 official languages, and translating the Bible into all of those languages so that everyone can read God's word in their home and heart language is also such a special thing. And it's all because of one little girl who decided that, this was worth it. This walk was worth it. And that's why we are where we are today. So I collected some interesting questions from my colleagues to, just make it a little bit more interesting, just a little bit extra interesting. And one of them asked, actually, where is Mary Jones buried?
So she's buried in a little village called Bryn Creek, which is not too far away from the village that she was brought up in Llanfihangel y Pennant. So she's buried within the cemetery of the chapel, Bethlehem Chapel in Bryn Creek.
Okay.
That's where she lived later in her life. Yes, and then she's buried there as well.
Just on that, we know about the story and that she got the Bible and she returned back home. How much do we know about the rest of her life and what happened afterwards? And did she know what impact her undertaking had at the end of the day with leading to the creation of the first Bible Society?
Yeah, I think with the story of Mary Jones, I think people just think of her as a 15-year-old girl, but of course she had the whole life as well. And it was a tough life. Yeah. I mean, she had a tough upbringing as well. At the age of 4, her father passed away. So it was just her and her mum trying to, keep the house going. And she worked really hard, for 6 years trying to save up for the Bible. And then the rest of her life was pretty tough as well. She married, she went on to marry. They had 6 children, but 5 passed away. Yeah. With TB, of course, was such a thing at that time, disease. And then that only remaining son, he emigrated, they say, to America. And they also say that she was blind by the end as well, but she could still recite Bible passages, even though she lost her sight. But she was interviewed, wasn't she?
She was, yes. Yeah, so we are able to essentially verify. It's difficult because not many people could read and write at that time, so it was such a gift. So she was interviewed and she told her story, which is how we are able to kind of know some of the kind of finer details of her story.
But if we're not entirely sure if she knew such an impact that she made. But what's interesting is that we can see that we can tell that she used to donate to the British and Foreign Bible Society. She donated to the China...
Yeah, the China Fund, didn't she?
The China Fund, yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, but who knows if she knew such an impact that she made.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, we have so much gratitude toward and respect for our donors because it's part of what keeps Bible Society work alive. And to think that she, who was the very center of the story, also ended up donating to Bible Society work is just amazing and really full circle.
And what's also touching as well, as I was saying, we opened in 2014, as she donated to the Bible Society, Bible societies around the world donated for this place as well. They saw that importance of having a central place just to commemorate her. And we've got about 16 different Bible societies worldwide as part of the Mary Jones Fellowship that's contributed towards the development of the centre, which is, has really gone from Wales to the world, literally.
And a way to commemorate that even further is that the something is given out every year called the Mary Jones Prize, and that is given to the person who is felt to have really kept her story alive. So the author of the War Guide, Mary Thomas, Onesimus Ngundu, who looks after the Bible in Cambridge, the original Bible, Dr. Leela Bose, who created a Mary Jones Club in India. So all of these people are really working hard to kind of keep the story alive and further it.
Yeah, this story looks like it's really grabbed hold of people's hearts. And to what extent has it led to promote Bible engagement among people, maybe especially non-believers?
I think one of the most incredible things about the centre is that because we are in a beautiful place, our audiences are range from those really engaged to the Bible, like as Nerys said, to those that haven't even been in a church. So when they come in and hear the story and hear the impact, it gives us a fantastic opportunity to engage with all different types of audiences, from, like I said, from tourism to young children as well. And I think it's incredible when we work through the workbooks on the school trips to kind of bring that Bible engagement and bring that Bible literacy to increase the confidence in those children so that they can go on their own path, they can go on their own pilgrimage of a journey with their faith. So we are an incredibly privileged place to do that.
Wow.
But then we are also supported by our head office, who have incredible, I mean, we are just one part of an incredible movement, as with your Bible Society of South Africa, that continually develop resources to really invite people to discover the Bible and also really raise their confidence in being able to share that further.
And tell me, how popular is the Mary Jones walk? I know you offer a walking tour where you can actually walk in her steps, and what an experience that must be, which we hope to do someday if you'll have us. But how popular is that, and what is the general feeling of those who actually do the walk and realize how far she walked, and the effort that she put into this walk, to get her Bible?
Yeah, as Mel mentioned, Mary Thomas. So she's the one who's developed Mary Jones' guide. She's a local lady to Bala. She's originally from the same area as Mary Jones originally, so she's been brought up with the story, and she's worked out the most possible routes that Mary Jones would have took from Llanfihangel Pennant to Bala. So that's the walk that Bible Society promotes. And we get a lot of people coming in, don't we?
Yeah.
Saying that they've done it. And again, different backgrounds, some non-believers even just wanted to follow in her footsteps. I know a gang from Bible Society have done it a few years ago.
We had a gentleman last year who did it barefoot.
Oh, yes.
He was originally from Australia, and he trained quite hard, and he was quite used to it. And what is wonderful about the walk as well is that it's split into sections. So whilst the terrain is quite rough and not steady, he can do a section. So he did it in sections. But what an incredible undertaking to really follow truly in her footsteps. Because I think one of the interesting things about the story is, in the story it's told as she was barefoot. Now, she came from a very, very poor family, so if she was to have any pair of shoes, she would have kept them and waited until she kind of met Thomas Charles, because she didn't want to ruin them along the way. So that's another kind of interesting thing that a lot of visitors pick up about, being barefoot. But in those times, a lot of people did walk here, there, everywhere barefoot. So it was just really funny to hear that gentleman had decided to really, truly follow in her footsteps.
Is it a multiple day hike then, more than a walk? Or if you say you can walk it in sections, how exactly does that work?
It's entirely, we have had lots of people doing it in a day. I think the least amount of time I've heard is 12 hours.
Yeah.
So they start about 6 and finish at 6 in the evening. So it is possible to do it in a day. And that's sweet to believe that Mary did it in a day as well. But the sections are 5 sections of 5 miles, really 5 to 6 miles. So people, they can do it, some do it over a period of time or over a couple of days. It's entirely, depending on their physical, what they can do as well.
And we're just we're just undertaking a big project. So there are boards along the walk, along those sections, kind of giving a really nice verse and kind of a bit more information about the next section. So we're just undergoing a project to redo these boards, because they were originally done, I think, in 2000. So after 20 years of Welsh weather, some of them are no longer in place. So what will be really exciting next summer is to have the new boards up in place, to really raise an energy and confidence in that walk as well.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, you are part of some really, really special and important work. It's exciting to hear about how people are, first of all, how you are keeping Mary Jones and her story alive, and how you are educating people about her story, and the impact that it's had on the Bible, the creation of the Bible Society, and all the work that we are doing now. And it's just lovely also the fact that through the Bible Society, we can connect. Different countries can, get together, and we can talk about our shared goal and our shared vision, to distribute the Bible and also to educate people about, Mary Jones and that the impact that her story has. So thank you for sharing your knowledge, and we look forward to chatting about a lot more with both of you in the future. We'd love to share some Bible Society of South Africa projects, and just continue sharing this story and many more stories from the from people's hearts and how it's impacted them. So thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for the work you're doing. And we look forward to chatting with you again.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's only a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You have been listening to the Wired on the Word podcast, brought to you by the Bible Society of South Africa.